This is the NUX Busking 200 FR. This is an FRFR speaker, which stands for full range flat response, meaning you can run almost anything into it. I'm going to give you a full rundown of this in a moment, but this can run on either power or its built-in rechargeable battery. It has Bluetooth connectivity, and it also allows you to run multiple instruments or inputs thanks to all of the fancy stuff I'll cover in just a moment. You're about to hear how this performs using the Bluetooth music streaming option in combination with my Valeton GP5. The great news is, if you've got a multi-effects processor of any kind, or something like the Enya Inspire electric guitar, which has built-in processing, or an acoustic guitar, you can plug it directly into this and it will handle it no problems at all. Thanks to NUX for sending this in. Let's get into it. Let me give you a full rundown of the Busking 200 FR. So this comes in at 9.4 kilograms or around 20 pounds. And it's specifically designed for busking or street performance, but because it's an FRFR speaker, it can handle basically anything you throw into it, which is what this video will showcase. Here's the back panel. So the way that this works is we get two unique inputs over here. These are combo jacks, so they'll support both line and XLR. So if you're going out of a multi-effects processor pedal, you can just use a regular guitar jack, or with a microphone, you can use a proper XLR. Each channel has its own volume control, and these are labeled gain. This isn't adding overdrive or anything, it's gain control for this channel, meaning the output volume. The master output is over here, and I'll be running it at about 1 o'clock throughout the entire video. Now this reverb control is like a global effects, and then we can change how much we want on either channel using these mix controls. So this is basically like a little mixer. On the bottom section here, we've got our power input. It's a proper kettle plug. We've got a DI out, which sounds fantastic. It's nice and clean. There's also a lift and ground option down here. So if you're using this when it's not plugged into the mains, you may encounter some buzz if something else that's plugged into it is using the mains. That's where this little switch comes in handy. On this section over here, we've got our line out and line in. So you can run a separate source in, or you can run a line out of this into, say, another one of these speakers or a different powered speaker if you want to do that. That's pretty cool. Over here, we've got our auxiliary in, which is for TRS cables or like headphone jack style cables. And we've got our smartphone input and output with a level control. Now, this little dongle over here came with it, and this is for Bluetooth connectivity. The Bluetooth connectivity on this works beautiful. And thanks to the built-in rechargeable batteries, this is maybe one of the best portable Bluetooth speakers you're going to find. On the bottom, we get some rubber feet, so it stands nice and sturdy, and there's also a full-blown speaker stand port on the bottom, which I wasn't expecting whatsoever. The handle on this feels really good as well, so if you're going to be moving it around, it's nice and easy. The speaker configuration is a single 8-inch full-range driver in the center and two 3-inch tweeters on either side. Now this runs at a maximum of 276 watts if you're running it on AC, or 236 if you're running it just on battery. The battery runtime is estimated to last for about 6 hours, although this will heavily depend on how loud you are and all those kind of factors. But if you're not running it flat out, you should see a pretty close to 6-hour runtime with this, which is cool. Now we do get a 3 LED indicator here letting you know how charged the battery actually is. And just to let you know too, the frequency response of this will go from 60 Hertz on the low end all the way up to 20 kilohertz on the high. This will work with vocals, guitar and vocals at the same time, keyboard and vocals at the same time, Bluetooth, connectivity, vocals and guitar at the same time. So yeah, if you are a street performer, man, I really think this is a really awesome solution. This would also work as a really nice fallback for, say, smaller gigs where you might be playing at a cafe. All right, let's get into some tones. So if you've got a multi-effects processor pedal of any kind, consider this your sample demonstration. I'm going to be running the Valeton GP5 into the front end of the NUX FRFR speaker. Now I've got the direct output recording. I've also got the speakers mic'd up with 2 microphones, and you'll be hearing a blend between them both. I've also got a stereo room microphone in the room as well. It's a condenser microphone from Saramonic. So you'll be hearing different points of audio recording throughout this particular video, but for this sample, I want to start with a hard rock tone. This is preset number 10, and then we'll get over to some cleans. Here we go. It's a lot of fun in the room. Now you can EQ this particular amplifier or channel any way that you like. So if you want more lows, more mids, less treble, whatever, you can do that directly from the EQ controls on the unit. Now this preset, it's dead dry. So what I'm going to do now is add a little bit of reverb. So now with the reverb at 9 o'clock, and I've got the master reverb at 9 as well. So they're both set the same, and now we have reverb, and I could add more if I wanted, but this sounds pretty cool. Yeah, let's try clean tone. Over to twin clean, which is preset 23. Here we go. Yeah, I don't know why I switched to neck and middle for one chord at the end, but you get the point. It really sounds great. If you've got any sort of amp simulator pedal like the Boss IR2, the Strymon Iridium, or even the Mothership from Tsakalis Audioworks, which is what I'll be using, you can run this directly into the front end of the NUX FRFR speaker. As long as you've got a cab sim out, you'll get some really great tones. Yeah, all right, so that's a solid volume in the room. That's about my regular recording volume, and it really does feel and sound nice. But it will all be dependent on whatever kind of pedal you use. But with the Mothership here, it's a really great combo. Now I got to test this recently with my friend Ben using the new Enya Inspire Pro SD electric guitar, which comes with a whole bunch of built-in amplifier modeling and all that kind of stuff. So if you're looking for a solution for that particular guitar, this will do a really great job. Let's take a listen. The thing that surprised me the most about this is how well it handles bass guitar. Now, I'm not a bassist by any stretch of the imagination, but I'll show you some tone samples and how it sounds in the room and all that kind of stuff. The beauty of this is that high Z instrument input. So on the combo jack, channel number 1, it has a little switch you can flick up. It's perfect for this, keyboards, or whatever you want to play. So let's have a listen. Yeah, man, it took me like 5 goes to get that right, but you get the point. You can get some really nice bass tones out of this. Now, this is obviously really great for anyone who wants a home bass practice amp solution. It's great. It's not super loud, even with the volume up at 1 o'clock, but there's no distortion. It sounds nice and clean. You can add a little bit of onboard reverb thanks to the onboard effects, or you can just leave it off and get some really great sort of jam at home kind of sound. So yeah, I would highly recommend this if you're a bassist not looking for a super huge rig or anything that's a backbreaker. Now, being that this is a busking amplifier, that means street performance. So if you're going to be doing any sort of vocals along with your guitar or keyboard or whatever, you can plug both in at the same time or stream over Bluetooth, all that kind of stuff. And the audio quality out of this sounds really nice. I'll just change the EQ slightly. Now with a little bit less treble and a little bit more bass, and I've also added a slight amount of reverb, and man, it sounds like a foldback. It really does, and that's how I plan on using this. Anytime we're jamming here at the house, or I've got the band over or whatever, and we need some vocals, this will be absolutely loud enough in front of us facing back. There's no questions about it. It's a very versatile package. They've done a great job with this. Let's talk about how this sounds in the room and also who it's for. In the room, this thing sounds so clean. Whether I'm playing bass, I've got my vocal mic going into it, or if I'm running any of my multi-effects processor pedals, or even the Mothership from Tsakalis Audioworks, I can get some really great tones out of this. It doesn't appear to be clipping or doing anything nasty. Now, I don't run these at full volume, and you probably shouldn't as well, but it feels like the speaker combination in here handles the 275 watts of power, no problems at all. The bass guitar test is usually the make or break test for a lot of these things, and it did a really great job of giving me a nice clean signal. I love the fact that we do have that high Z or high Z input as well as the line switch, so you can set this up in a way that works for you. Speaking of the interface too, I love the fact that this is on the ground, you're looking down at it, they've put all the controls facing you as opposed to the wrong way around. I really love that. And then as we go to the back, everything's the right way up if you're looking at it from the back. So they've thought about the design of this. I really like it. It gives you more than enough inputs and outputs, I think, to keep most people happy. The fact that this thing is completely portable for street performance really sort of sets it apart from a lot of the competition. I think if you're someone who's got a more budget-friendly multi-effects processor pedal, this would be a great pairing because it's not going to break the bank like a lot of the more expensive ones will, but you also get really great tone out of this, and it would double as or triple as a dedicated practice amplifier for anyone with a multi-effects processor. Now let's talk about how this compares up against like the TONEX Cab. This definitely isn't as loud as those. That gives you more of the guitar amp experience, whereas this does a lot more. So you can make your mind up what works best for you. This is definitely not as loud as that, nor does it have the conventional guitar layout. But being that it's an FRFR speaker, once you set this up, you can just plug in and you're good to go. The combo jacks really make it easy to use this in a range of different situations. And I think next time we jam with the band, I'll be using this as a foldback. It's easily loud enough to keep up at the kind of volumes we play at. Or if you've got a speaker stand, you can plonk it on that and use it as a mini front of house speaker. So yeah, it's a very powerful unit. I'm very impressed. So let us know what you think. Thanks for watching. My name's Shane. If you want to take a look at this, I'll link it in the description. Catch you soon.